Thank you for watching me. This is Chuck Burns for the USA, my YouTube channel, and I have another quick revelation for you guys. What do Lindsey Graham and drone strikes have to do with sovereign citizens and terrorism, domestic terrorism? It's this simple, right? The FBI put out a report for law enforcement officers, LEOs. If you read my tweets, that's what that LEO means, or if you don't know, saying this is how you can identify these sovereign citizens who are domestic terrorists. By the way, their basis for this is like Terry Nichols, who helped McVeigh bomb the federal building. He was claimed to be a sovereign citizen. You don't want to be one of these people. Don't ever claim to be one. But the thing that's happening right now that's real dangerous with this report, the FBI report, is that they tell law enforcement officers and people in any agency that the way to identify these people is people claiming to talk about being a free man or a freeman or a constitutionalist. And there's a big problem with that because I would like to say I'm a constitutionalist. I believe in the Constitution. I don't think bombing buildings full of children in the federal building is okay. I certainly don't. I think it's a heinous, reprehensible act. However, I'm not going to tell you that I'm not a constitutionalist. I believe in the Constitution. It's the most important document. Along with the Declaration, the Bill of Rights, those three things put together are the basis for why we're great and why we're free. Why we are free men. And you see? I said free men in a completely innocent, honest way. But according to the FBI now, that could make me a domestic terrorist, possibly. Law enforcement should watch out for me if they run into me, because I could be dangerous. Now the problem with this all is that my cat's trying to get in the shot. Stupid. Go away. But the problem with this is that you got Lindsey Graham over here talking about how if somebody is a terrorist in America and we declare him an enemy combatant, should be able to drone him. Does he really realize? Does anybody realize the implications of this? How serious that is? People like us, patriots on Twitter and YouTube, like to say we're constitutionalists, believe in the founding documents of our country, because that's a patriotic thing to believe in. There's nothing wrong with that. Could be identified as a domestic terrorist. And then, if Lindsey Graham would have his way, and the thing is, if he has his way, he's not going to be the one in charge of it. He may be good-intentioned in what he says. He may be very good-intentioned and have no intent of bombing you and I. But when you get that standard in place, you open the door to that, because the people in government are pretty much leftist Democrats because they're all union members, and nobody in the government is going to vote themselves to have a job. I mean, so you're putting the people that, the FBI and stuff like that, who label people, call themselves constitutionalists, sovereign citizens, domestic terrorists, basically, the right to take people like that we could be identified because they use wording, and this is so on purpose. I mean, to tell me that, oh, we don't mean to do that, these people tend to claim that, No. Lindsey Graham doesn't know what he's doing. That's the problem. That's why there's due process. That's why you don't jeopardize the constitutional amendments no matter what. Doesn't matter, Lindsey Graham, if they're a domestic terrorist. I mean, like, you got the what's his guy named, one of the brothers in Boston bombings, that blew up people's legs, that heinous fucking reprehensible act. He's a U.S. citizen. Try him in a U.S. court, federal court, whatever, to do that. He's a citizen. He has due process. And if you're a citizen within these borders, you should always have that. Always. And the AA Act, unconstitutional, detaining people without trial indefinitely. No due process. Throwing an American citizen on American soil, that's no due process. I mean, and this all was led up to by us doing it to citizens in other countries. Anwar al-Awlaki, his son, Anwar al-Awlaki is a piece of shit, but should any one man have I'm okay with him being droned. I'm not okay with how it happened. I'm not okay with one man having a list and pressing a button and being judge, jury, and executioner. Mr. Obama, you are not Judge Dredd. You are not Sylvester Stallone. You don't got the muscle for it. You don't got the laws to back it. We need to consider the way they do things. How dangerous this is. That they can label you because you believe in the Constitution a domestic terrorist, which is the next step to declaring you an enemy combatant, or just doing it because you're a terrorist. I mean, they could do it and accuse you of something later, and I mean, and you know, we are seeing right now that they can lie and nobody calls them on it. So why do you feel safe? I don't really care. I'm not afraid of anything. But I'm crazy, to a degree. People would call me that. Crazy for freedom. Nothing scares me when it comes to defending it. No matter what the consequences, I will stand up and say, God bless the USA and all the documents, and we need to return to them. And I believe in the Constitution. I'm a constitutionalist, and I am not a domestic terrorist, and you can take that to the bank. But we are being painted as such, and these are, Lindsey Graham doesn't know a thing what he's talking about. That's why the legislation is broken. Legislature. So, hope that you guys take the weight of that and the seriousness, and kind of digest it and sit on it. I'm not going to get long-winded like I always do right now, but just think about that. I'm Chuck Burns for the USA. That's the name of my YouTube channel. No spaces, just Chuck Burns for USA. And that's not 4 FOR, it's the number 4. And thank you for watching my video. Thank you for your time, because I can't give it back. So I appreciate you spending it with me. Have a good night, guys.